Hey there folks, it's James, back with my back nine building series on my channel. In an earlier video, I was showing you priming boards and why to do it, trying to explain why to do it. This is obviously not right. You do not put up bare wood onto walls without priming it, or at least buying prime boards first. The finished carpenter in this house, he should have been ran off the minute the homeowner saw him doing this. But it's ready to be painted. I'm going to prime it up here on the wall. It's going to be difficult to do, especially this edge over here. This one over here I can't even get to because the paintbrush won't be able to go down, but it will probably never be seen. I'm using a 3-inch brush. I would not recommend doing this for you DIY or brand new guys doing this sort of stuff, because 3-inch brushes are harder to handle in tighter spaces. 2.5-inch brush, if you're not even comfortable with that, use a 1.5-inch if you can find it. I don't even know if they still sell 1.5-inch brushes. I haven't used them in so many years. This is bad. Don't do it. Don't ever, if you're putting up trim, don't do this. Don't. A big reason too is if you're into, some people still like to put sheen paint on walls in like bathrooms or in laundry rooms. The problem you run into is any sheen paint, if you do not have a wet edge on it, it will flash in the light. Flashing means that light will come in here and you'll be able to see where I painted it. And if I stopped, like on a wall, if I painted with a semi-gloss or a sheen, and I stopped and it dried, and then I tried to pick up right there, you could see that clear as day. Flat paint on drywall, sheen on wood. I actually have a story. Whenever I moved to St. Louis, I started working for one of the biggest painting contractors up there. And this guy did a lot of business, and everybody thought he knew what he was talking about. The very first job I got on with him, they were trying to paint the outside siding of a house, spraying it with semi-gloss paint. And I knew right then and there that the guy was an idiot. Eventually, he couldn't get it right, and his guys couldn't get it right. And I told him he couldn't get it right. He ended up just subcontracting it out to somebody else and shoved that problem off to another contractor. And if you're in the St. Louis area, I'm going to tell you his name. It's Tim Trogue. He owned county, house painting, and washing. The guy's a scam artist. Do not ever let him anywhere near your house. So I actually cut that line good, so we're all right there. I want a firm bristled brush. If you're trying to cut straight lines, it makes it so much easier to have firm bristles as much as possible. And whenever you cut a line down a wall or something, just cut it. Don't try to stop and go back in and fill things, especially whenever you're on a wall trying to go up to a ceiling. Zip that across there real quick. Do not try to go like that and then go back and get this and go back and get this. Zip it across, or else you will never have a straight line. You can always zip it right across and then come back the other way. Now this is flat paint on these walls, and I painted the walls too a few months back. So I know that if I need to, I can go back and just touch it up. Matte paint, you can always just go back and touch up. As long as it hasn't been there for like 6 months and sun has started to fade it. These walls, I know that if I get anything on the walls, which I will in some places because I had so many like this that I had to dab and daub back in there. But I'll be able to touch it up and it'll blend in perfectly without having to paint the entire wall. If it was semi-gloss, then I would have to paint the entire wall whenever I went back to try to touch up. So if you're trying to do this yourself, or if you're trying to be a side hustle contractor, painter, don't recommend putting semi-gloss or sheen of any kind on walls. Like I said, drywall is for matte paint, wood is for sheen. And if you are wanting this as a side hustle, doing these sort of windows and doors, painting or hanging or anything of them, you can actually charge a decent amount of money for it. Honestly, contractors these days, because ever since COVID, have been able to charge a lot. You get to a point where you can be very picky with who you want to work for. Used to be a time whenever we couldn't do that. But as I said, ever since COVID and the shortage and guys just retiring that were really good at stuff, we've gotten to be picky. Tradespeople have gotten just more and more in demand, and we know what we're worth. If you're a homeowner and you think you can still be an asshole to your contractors, if they're good, they'll pack their stuff up and leave because they know they're going to work the next day if they really want to. If you run those guys off and you decide to go for somebody cheaper or somebody that's going to tell you something that you want to hear or give you, whatever, I can't tell you. Most jobs I actually do are just like this, coming in and fixing somebody else's screw up. That's what I make a ton of money, have my entire life, just coming and fixing in cheap contractor screw ups. I mean, I've heard nightmare stories about people that, got screwed hundreds of thousands of dollars from picking the wrong contractor. And they could have spotted it right from the beginning. So there we go. We're primed up. I'll take you guys outside, show you how to clean up the brush. Foam roller. I mean, you can get a pack of these at Walmart for $4. I usually just factor them into a price and throw them away. You get a pack of like 5 for $4. They're usually on the clearance aisle in Walmart. So there you go. Let's go outside. Let's go outside. Outside. Find a hose, best way, or if you got a slop sink. The slop sink, I can get it a lot better. Hose out here, you're gonna spray it pretty good. What you're gonna want to do is get most of the paint out of it. If it dries up, then the bristles will be hard next time and you won't be able to use the brush. I'll usually just get it nice and good here, and then whenever I get home, do it in the slop sink. Thanks for stopping by. We'll be back out here tomorrow to start hanging the baseboard. Everything's all primed, ready to go. I'm fired up. Get this job done. But this afternoon, I'm doing my semi-retirement life and I'm going to play golf. So see you guys next time.